Hello and welcome to episode number 18 of the Cashflow Pirate podcast. My name is still Richard, as it is every episode, and it is the 8th of January 2020. So this is the first episode of the year, so lucky you. I know I always seem to change the plan of this podcast, and I say I'm going to talk about a subject next week, and I don't, but that's just, the way it goes. So I've actually got a different episode this week, because this week we have a guest. Oh yes, a guest. We have a guest on the show, and not just any guest. We have a very good friend of mine who we've just discovered 12 years friends. Well, I thought it was about 4 years, but it's actually 12 years. So we've been friends for 12 years. We, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to say it, worked at the same place for a big majority of that. Stuck in a dark room with no windows, but I'll get to that later. So his name's Kevin. But like I said, he's a very good friend of mine, and he's got an interesting story, and he's kind of battling exactly the same things that I'm battling with as well. And we quite often, I'm just going to go straight into the episode. By the way, we're not going to do the books that I'm reading this week and stuff. So I'm just going to go straight into chatting with Kev. So I'll just introduce him before I actually properly introduce him. So like I said, we worked together for, 8 years or something like that, being stuck in a dark room, fixing laptops and computers with no windows, very depressing, probably getting poisoned by the strange chemicals we were having to use, but no one told us that, so it's a bit late for that. And what happened is that eventually we both left that company to do our own things. We both tried different career paths. We both went our own way, but of course we stayed in contact. And while I went one way, Kev actually lived the dream. He created his own company. He left this other company, and he went self-employed. He started his own company, went self-employed, had an idea, and bam, and went for it. Which is perfect. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And he's still doing this job. I say job. He's still running his company to this day, which is I'll ask him in a second about the times, but still going with it. So it sounds like a dream come true. It sounds exactly what we're all trying to do: build our own company and run it, which is awesome. But there is a but in this. I still have regular conversations with Kev about all the things that we still both struggle with. So rather than just chatting on the phone and then those conversations being lost forever, I just thought it'd be cool if we can get Kev on and chat about the stuff we normally chat about. So it's not going to be the smoothest episode in the world, because we're just going to be two friends chatting about our business ideas and business problems and all the things we struggle with. And hopefully some of this will resonate to you guys, and you'll realise that not everyone has got it worked out, and everybody is having the same problems that you're having. All the stupid little questions you have about stuff, everybody else has them. So let me introduce Kevin. Kevin, hello, welcome to the podcast.
Hello Richard, hello, how's it going? And hello to all your Cashflow Pirate listeners. Thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here. This is very cool. This is at a first. So in over a year of the podcast being out, actually. So I should have done this way earlier. But it's hard finding people to come on.
Well, yeah, you have asked me a few times. I just haven't got around to committing.
A stealthy dig, but it's okay. So yeah, like I said, was most of that like I said, I know it's only a brief intro, just off the top of my head, but that's pretty much it. And we worked together in that dark room, listening to audiobooks, Spanish.
Well, we tried Spanish
really
together.
Weird.
Yes,
we did try and learn Spanish. See, all that time, Kev, we could have been learning business stuff.
It's true.
What were we doing?
But were podcasts even on the? They were on the scene, but
yeah, they were. I don't know what we were listening to, but we weren't listening to business stuff.
No.
But as I was saying, but we got to the point where I left that company and I started just getting another job. I just went and got another job, a better job, to be fair. But I've got another job now, and it's better than the where we were. But you actually left and created your own company. I mean, so just tell us the company that you created, the name, what your idea was, and kind of how you went about starting the company and where you're at now.
Yeah. Right. So it was actually thanks to you, Richard, as you were the action taker that got that job initially, while we left the same place, and then you got that other job, and then you kind of gave me the nod, going, "Oh, they're actually looking for another technician there. Why don't you jump ship and come with me?" Which went for the interview, and I did actually get the job with you. It was a very basic interview, to be honest, wasn't it?
Yes.
And
term.
then one thing led to the other. We were doing computers and general hardware fixes for front of house sort of customer support, weren't we? And then the phone repairs were a sideline thing that you were kind of thrown in the deep end as well. And then you had maybe about a month's kind of passed down knowledge from someone, wasn't it? I can't even remember.
Yeah. I mean, basically, it was a PC repair shop, like a high street PC repair shop, and we used to get people coming off the street with their laptops and PCs, and as it was going on, we ended up getting more and more mobile phones, tablets. This was what? How many years was this, kid? 5 years ago?
Oh, maybe even 6, because I think I was there for a year and a half. You were there for a few months, but yeah.
So we were just fixing people's iPhones with pretty much zero training. I mean, like YouTube and Google were our training methods in this.
Yeah.
And that's all we were doing. So again, I only stayed there for about 6 months, and I left, and I dragged poor Kev along, and then went, "This is great. See you later, bye."
Although
and left Kev.
That was the thing. That was the window for me to think about my thing, which was basically not enjoying working for who we were working for, but thinking that we could do, or I could do a better job my own, but I couldn't afford a shop front or anything. So it was basically, I don't need that much space. All the equipment and everything for fixing mobile phones and tablets and everything is pretty small, so the outlay was quite small. And I just thought, why don't I do it myself? So I started researching bits and pieces for parts and supplies in China and all that sort of stuff. And then the main vessel of the business was going to be doing it all in the back of a van. So I was going to travel to customers, get to their location, and have a workshop set up in the back of my van, with all the necessary equipment, good lighting, charging system for phones and all that sort of stuff. Get to their house and say, most common repairs are smash screen. Get to their house, pick up the phone from them, parked outside, either on their driveway or very close by, and then repair the phone there and then, and get it back to them within about half an hour, well, depending on which repair it was, obviously. And drive on to the next customer was the idea.
And I actually think and thought then this is a great idea, because when we were working, it was one of the problems we were finding is that where the shop was located, it was a real pain to get to. It was a really awkward location, so we didn't have really any, just casual walk by customers. Did you? I mean, people had to know where we were, and they had to take time out of their day, bring their device along with them, hold on to it and watch over us while we touch their devices, because no one wants you doing anything to their phone without them knowing. It's a nightmare. And then when you tell them, there's a couple of hour wait because we've got a stack of others to do, and that was the problem. They would go, I'll go somewhere else then, because they just didn't want to come all the way there and then wait and come back later. That wasn't happening. So your idea of actually just, okay, well, I'll bring the repair to you rather than the phone to the repair, which again, it's a great idea, and it was a genuine problem that we were facing in the company. So you got all that done. You got yourself a van. You kitted it out with a workshop in the back. It looks really cool. You made some cool little edits, and I mean the fact that you're like 6'4"
6'4"
was hilarious. Which was hilarious in the back of a little white transit van or whatever it is.
Stole my old computer chair and chucked it in the back, and
that was quite funny. But so you left that. So you left the company. You set up your own business. What did you call it?
repaired at your door.
There you go. I mean, it's as simple as that. Repaired at your door. So the good thing about that name, again, it was obvious what you do. You repair things at people's door. It's not specific enough that you can't change what it's not.
That was the idea behind it, because
door.
it was phones,
Yeah.
it was laptop screens, it was general computer repairs, all that
And you
sort of
never
stuff.
know what's going to be. You never know what's going to need repairing, are you? And it might change in the future. So it leaves you open. So the name's great.
Yeah,
did all
the social media side of things, set up a Facebook page. You very kindly set up a website for me, which had all the general information and about me page, and most importantly a free what was it called, a free quote page sort of registration.
Oh yes.
Which is very handy even to this day. I get a lot of inquiries via that. But yeah, like you said, that seemed like the dream, but in reality, I created
That's what I mean. Why are we here? Why? This all sounds perfect. So why are we still having discussions? Like several years later, after you started the company, I still speak to you on the phone almost weekly because something's not quite right, is it?
Yeah. Well, it's down to, I guess, the main reason is, firstly, technology is no longer my passion. It was maybe going back 20 years ago when I was massively into computer games, along with you, Richard. That was, one of our sort of common interests.
Yeah, still is.
Still is. Well, for you, I don't, as much as I love computer games, I just don't play them anymore, as you know. But that was my entrance into that whole technology field. But now it's just, if I'm honest, it's not really my passion, and it doesn't drive me to want to push this further and do more. There's so much more I probably could do with it. Well, I definitely could do with it. But yeah.
Right, so this is interesting. Okay, so this is back to the passion story again. Do you work for your passion? And what I find interesting is I don't know what, I've read so many books. I've forgotten which book it was in now. I should make a note. But the book was saying that I was reading was, your passion doesn't have to necessarily be the product or the business that you create. It doesn't actually have to be the passion that you're following. The passion can be, I want loads of money.
That's the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, I'm pretty sure.
Thank you. Or wherever I heard it. But that's great, because sometimes your passion just makes a rubbish business, and you struggle to make a business out of your passion. It's true. Not every single passion is going to be profitable. So I think it's really nice to think, okay, my passion is just, I want to make loads of money. I want to go on holiday loads. That is my passion. So your business that you create is the means to get your passion going. Obviously, if you can make your passion make you money, that's ideal, because then you get double whammy there. But I just find it interesting that you've got to the point where you seem to be stuck. That seems to be the problem. But as we keep discussing on our phone calls, but as I said, can you be stuck if you don't actually know where you're trying to get unstuck to go to?
Possibly
where are you,
just wandering around, aren't you?
It's the same thing. It's the same target, isn't it? It's the same thing. You can't be lost if you're not actually heading anywhere, are you? You're just where you are, which is exactly where you are now. And I know that we've discussed your business quite a lot, and it does seem to be one of the problems is scalability, because you are one man in one van in one physical location. So obviously you can't drive 100 miles to fix someone's iPhone. It's just not worth it.
No.
So that limits your area, and you can't have... The only other way you can scale it, really, is if you do like group repairing and teach people to repair, or if you do a franchise model where you franchise out the name, then you become a franchisee.
Yeah, exactly. There's loads of things I thought of I can do,
but because you don't... I say you don't care about it, but because you don't love it, you're not driven to do that. So you're at the stage now of, your company's been running, it's making you a living.
Yep.
That's great. I mean, it's awesome, the fact that you've been able to run your life in the company that you've made, which is awesome. So it's funded your family life as it's been going, which is great. But where do we go from here? This podcast, we're not going to have the answer for this question, and this is the point of it. We're just going to discuss what happens now. So if you don't love your business now, Kev, what do you love? What do you want to do? I mean, tell me the craziest. It doesn't matter if it's going to make money or not, but what would you want to do if you had a choice? Do you even know? I mean, I've no idea.
No, I don't. This is the same thing that we've been
crazy,
discussing about all the time. That's why we listen to so many books, and I don't know if it's hindered my thought process or not, or trying to help me. But a lot of my passions lie in, like I was mentioned before, I was massive into my reptiles and things growing up in Zimbabwe. So the general outdoors, hiking, now kite surfing, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is another thing I spend a lot of time doing.
Because you're now a black belt, aren't you?
Yes, I am recently a black belt. Thank you very much. Yeah,
so you can repair your phone and then choke you out. It's not a service he offers, but I mean, I expect if you pay enough, I'm sure he will.
Yeah. I'd just like to apologise for my coughing at the moment, because, obviously I sound pretty rough.
It's January.
January, I've got a cold, so bear with me.
Yeah. It's all right, you go for it.
Okay,
well, let me just say this then. Okay, so you don't mean what is strange is that we are both kind of similar. We both have a variety of interests that we'd like to pursue, but don't feel like we can make money on our particular interests, or don't know how to go about it. And I don't want to be tied down to one thing, but I wish I had one thing I was tied down to.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Which is weird, but I do envy people that have got, that just say, I want to sell kites. I love kites. I'm going to make my own kites. I'm going to sell kites, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'd love to be able to do that, but I can't, because I'd be walking to the kite shop and I'd see a computer game shop and I'd have to go and have a quick look. And I'd have to, I can't focus on one thing. That's just not me. And I've tried loads to find the one thing I want to focus on, and it just doesn't work. And as I was saying, as I said last week, that I'm reading Be a Free Range Human at the moment, and as I said, that's really changed my outlook on having to find one thing that you need to be passionate or excited about. That if you do love 5 things, then work with those 5 things to make them make money for you. And I think that's just like we need to, with you, Kev, we just need to figure out if you're a one interest man. Are you, are you interested in having an online business, or would you like to have a physical business or a service business, or do you have any idea?
Well, I think I'm very similar to you. I'd love to get online in some respect, whether it would be an e-commerce store or a tuition-based sort of website, or what's it called? Basically anything online to kind of make something, as they always call, evergreen. So once you put something out on the internet, you might need to update it. It's not that I don't want to be lazy, it's just that once you put some good content out there, you can update it every now and then and still repurpose it and sell it to other people, and ideally make some sort of funnel down the line, get a clientele based and a fan base that likes your content, and add from there, really. I think that's kind of the dream.
But okay, so are you interested at all in building up Repaired at Your Door?
Well, I think we've mentioned this on phone calls before. Yes, if I knew it was making me amazing money now, I probably would. I'd go, yeah, I'll do this and do that. But the thing is, the work I do is very stressful for the reward at the moment.
Because you struggle with a lot of Chinese, because obviously the parts are from China or wherever you can get them from, and some of the quality is so up and down, which is exactly the same problem we had in the shop. To be
Yes.
fair, it's not unique.
That is one of the aspects, but yeah, things are never straightforward. Even if you've got brilliant parts, it can be very hit and miss what you've been told by the customer, whether the device has had liquid damage or this or that or been repaired before. And yeah, it's very tricky, especially being on site. So yeah, in hindsight, a shop front is probably a bit easier. I wouldn't be wasting so much time driving around as such as well, and I could concentrate on other things. But yeah, that's going off on a different vein. But
Yeah, but to me, like I said, I don't get the impression that you want to continue this massively. It seems like
you're right.
You're continuing it because it's working just about enough.
Well, the biggest drive, similar to what we've all discussed, and you're doing as well. You want to work for yourself, and that, like you said earlier, is the dream. I have created a business that I'm working for myself. I don't answer to anyone else, and I've had a taste of it, and I would dread having to go back to work for anyone else. So that's why, just like yourself, I'm pondering all the time on something else that I could, maybe work alongside Repaired at Your Door to begin with, but then ideally take over Repaired at Your Door and just do my main passion or this other thing that I would love to do rather than working with technology, basically.
So, I mean, what you could do is obviously doing the job that you do does allow you, I wouldn't say it's free time, but you have time that is not allocated all the time, if you see what I mean. Like, you do have time in between jobs, don't you? You do have time sat in the van. You know, if you drive somewhere and the next one's not for an hour, you're not going to go home, are you? You're going to wait closer to the place and go there then. And some days are quiet, some days are busy. So you are in, it seems like, where the hell do I go with this? But the fact is, you really do have the time to figure out what you want to do, or test some things that you want to do. I know we have discussed doing Amazon FBA before, but that's looking more and more unlikely. You do need a decent startup capital for that, really. And between us both, we just don't have it, and it's just awkward. And there's plenty of other ways we can make money that aren't involving Amazon FBA at the moment. So if you're talking about, really you're looking at an e-commerce store or again, services. You could do a service, but it's or training. I mean, they can't really teach black belt jiu-jitsu on Skype, can you?
No, but a lot of people do online sort of courses with that sort of stuff. As Facebook does, it always stalks you, and I get loads of adverts for well-known black belts is the thing, with all their courses and all that sort of stuff, world champions and what have you, and I'm sure they make a good living off of it. But yeah, again, but that's the whole thing we always hear about. Why can't you do it? You might not be a well-known person, but if you put good content out there, maybe you can do it. But that's why I always have self-doubts and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's very tricky to pull the trigger and do it.
I know you do struggle with the self-doubting and kind of
imposter syndrome.
You kind of feel like you have to know all the answers before you start something. And I think I was like that at the start as well. I thought, I can't do this because but I've got so sick of it now. I'm just ploughing through about 100 different things now. But I think we kind of just need to get you started on something. I think we just need to get you started on something else that you can work on in between stuff. Whether that's
but that, as you know, Rich, sorry to interrupt, but that, as you know, I have had started something else. When we started doing all these sideline things, I did that, my online store, like a print-on-demand store, similar to what you've done with Amazon Merch, but there's other providers out there, and one of them is a company called T-Mill, based on the Isle of Wight, and they all supposedly eco-friendly, sort of wind-powered factories, and that was the one that appealed to me for doing a print-on-demand service for clothing. And I probably went the wrong way round, and I got all crazy and thinking, oh, I need to think of a good name and a logo and all that sort of stuff, and not thinking about my clientele as much. Well, I kind of did, but then it kind of just got lost in the nether.
Yeah, you got dragged into focusing on the not so important stuff, really, didn't you, at first? Which is obviously because you don't want to put something out that looks rubbish. But the thing is, we didn't work out, or you didn't work out, we didn't work out, if there was a market for it properly, and what kind of things the people that you're targeting are interested in first, which is what we should have done first. We should have researched who your market is, where they are, what other people they listen to, and the thing is, it's kind of what were you trying to sell? What were you selling? An ideal? Were you selling products? Were you selling help? What were you actually offering?
So it was just a print-on-demand service, because I heard not everyone, but it was quite a big craze of, potential to, if you get your designs made by a third-party person, on Upwork and Fiverr, like you've mentioned on your other podcasts, because I've got no artistic skills either. So,
high five.
There we go.
Destroying the place.
That was a box. Sorry.
Blame the cat.
Yeah. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now.
No, we were just talking about.
Oh yeah.
You started up your print-on-demand store, but without a real idea of where you were going with it.
Well, it was along the backstory is, I have told you, Richard, but for the audience purposes, it was my a shaka. There's a hand gesture called the shaka, which a lot of Hawaiian surfers, it was originated in Hawaii, where your thumb and your pinky finger are extended and your other fingers are like clenched in a fist. When they shake it up in the air, it's called a shaka basically. And I just thought it was a cool gesture, but it's been used so many times on the internet, and I basically changed that and put two hands together. No one does it, and if you put two of the shakas together, it forms a pretty cool pattern, I thought, and that's why I came up with the name. It became two shaka because it's associated with all the kind of kite surfing and even Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they use it. So it was kind of with all my sort of sports that symbols use so much, and that was kind of the idea behind the whole logo. And then it was, I want to kind of create something around the adventure sports, but also be environmentally sort of friendly. I like all the adventure sports that have low impact on the environment, and that's why I use T-Mill, because they're wind powered.
They are, yeah, absolutely.
So it was all that kind of thinking, and having T-shirts around kite surfing and more about animals. I didn't bring in the jiu-jitsu side of aspect, but it was kite surfing and kayaking and outdoor adventures with animals and all that sort of stuff, and trying to maybe bring awareness about what's happening in the world with deforestation and all that sort of stuff. So that was the idea. I had loads of T-shirts designed. I think I've got about maybe even 40 on my T-Mill store, and again,
wow. Have you really? Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember it. Again, it's been so long since I've even looked at it. That's the thing. I'd made all these. I even did the website myself, and then I just didn't pull the trigger. So they could be the best T-shirts in the world and quite a nice website, but no one in the world knows about it. So I'm not going to get any sales because I was too scared of it being out there and being accountable for it.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's so funny. It's such a weird. Yeah, it's such a weird. To do all that work up front and to get stuck at the bit where you just tell someone else about it.
Yeah.
That's what's holding you up. It's crazy. But it's common. Lots of people suffer from that. So really, you need marketing.
Yeah, I guess so.
So do you have all the social media accounts and all that?
I set them up, very basic, but there's no information on them. There's the basic logo and a few pictures. I just did the initial setup, and again, didn't do anything with it. Didn't post one single advert, didn't even do one Google ad, nothing. No one in the world knows about it apart from you and maybe a few friends and family that I mentioned it to. but yeah, it's there.
Okay.
And
Well, that's interesting because you've kind of done a lot of the work there. Again, I don't know how many. Did you do any like Google Trends research or anything like that on it at all?
no, it was mainly because I had seen other kite surfing sort of print on demand ones come through my Facebook adverts feed, I guess, as well. So I thought that's kind of what gave me the idea. And I kind of saw that they were getting a lot of impressions, or whatever you want to call it, a lot of comments and things on those sort of things, and lots of shares. And yeah, I thought there was no upfront cost. There was no downside to setting up a store and trying, although it is £10 a month now for the pro thing, which is another thing we touched on before. I have spent.
Yeah, we did.
I used that as a guilt trip into me doing something with my store. So I've been paying £10 for probably over a year now, and I still haven't done anything with it. So that guilt trip did not work on me, and I've wasted all that money when I should have put in probably £120 in my first advert at least to put it out to the world to see what happened. But again, that's my fault. So I'm learning from expensive mistakes.
Okay, well, I mean, at least you're, like I said to you on the phone, but at least you're noticing your mistakes now, and you're noticing when you should have done stuff. And I know you keep getting stuck at this stage, but it's a starting point. And like with this store, I mean, obviously you're a keen kite surfer anyway, so it's not like it's a niche you thought, oh, that'll sell loads. It's something you're interested in, and you thought, oh, this is a unique approach. This is a unique thing I can build. So it's kind of a brand that you can build up yourself, and it is related to you. And I know we talked about going down to the beach and getting some footage of you kite surfing to use as well. We can do that. Again, why have we not done that? You've got a GoPro, haven't you?
No, I don't actually. I borrowed Jules once, but I don't have one.
Okay. Yeah, I may have broken out when I fell off a bike. Anyway, so I mean, just selling t-shirts is now, I think these days, is probably a harder sell, because your brand has got nothing behind it. There's no story. There's no.
That's the thing.
It's just
You need to make a whole brand behind it, and
you do. But I mean, have you thought about like introducing some other products? So maybe like building a store, again, just drop shipping. Have you thought about building a store for like windsurfer, surfer accessories, or things like that?
No, I haven't. If I'm honest, I haven't looked into any of that stuff.
Is there any like common things that kite surfers buy that they have to replace often, or any clothing that they have to buy, or straps, or I don't know what you guys wear.
No, I know the vein of thinking. Replenishables is always a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
or unique stuff. Like if there's not this, but let's say the board is just a big white board. Could you buy a multicoloured one off of AliExpress? That you can't get in the shop. What can you not buy in a regular shop here? Or is there something you just not easy to buy? Where do people get their kite surfing stuff from? I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, there's some very big websites out there. Again, that's the sort of thing you see those and you go, oh no, I'm not going to compete with them, sort of thing. But you've got to start somewhere. But that's the train of thought. You see these big water sports websites and you think, well, they're doing it for so and so prices, and you're never going to compete. But
that gives you, now they're giving you proof that you can make money.
Oh, there's a market for it. Yeah, okay.
So they're proving the market. If they've set up these, multi-million-pound websites with advertising and all this fancy design, as you can see, you can get a website up in a day if you really want to. That's not a problem. You just got to find, what stuff is selling on their site. What are they not doing? Are they selling like items that can easily be replicated on AliExpress? I'm not saying that drop shipping is the answer to everything, but it might give you a place to start. And again, like I said, drop shipping is not ideal because of the time problem of delivery. But if you can find something on there that's a lot cheaper and maybe a bit different, to whether you wear like say a strap that's connected to your ankle, whatever that's called.
A leash. I know what you mean.
There you go. So is there some like really funky, weird custom ones on AliExpress that you can offer? because then you can just run some adverts and just target those big companies, their audience, to say, right, people who like this company, and then send them your advert for your thing, and then you put that on your store next to your t-shirts.
That was my question, Rich. As you probably know, that I like your thinking, but I don't know how that works with, say, a print-on-demand t-shirt store like Tmall, because I think that's just a standalone store. I don't know how you can have an additional sort of, vein of products that's been dealt with by a completely different company, because obviously if someone sees a t-shirt and they go, oh, I like that t-shirt, and they go, oh, I also need a leash, whatever, like your example was, but then that's two different checkouts, if you know what I mean. That's why I still didn't push the other things further as well, because I just thought, I'll just go with the t-shirts, and then just got stuck on there, like I said, and didn't do anything with them. But then other things hindered me, and I just didn't take it anyway.
Well, ideally, you do want the t-shirts on the same store, just from a technical standpoint, where people are going there and then having to load up a different store for the t-shirts. That is obviously not ideal. So long term, I would try and get the t-shirts on the same website. But there's nothing stopping you creating a store for these products, these other products. And I suppose technically you could still offer the t-shirts and the sizes as a product on your new store, and then when someone buys them, you just order them on your other store manually.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's a really awkward way of doing it, by the way. What you want to do is you want to get them off that store and put them into I don't know if you're using, I mean, really, this is like a Shopify jobby. That'd be way easier.
Yeah.
Open up a Shopify account, open up a store, click import, bam, done. And Shopify is normally $29 a month, which is a problem. But if you ever watch Emma Reed, her YouTube videos, she's on everywhere at the minute. But if you watch her videos, she actually gave an amazing tip for Shopify, where you can get it for free, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, so you basically sign up as a developer, a Shopify developer, because what people do, they sign up as a developer, and then they sell those websites to people, or they work on them for a client, and then they sell them the final product, sort of thing. So Shopify goes, oh great, these people are designing stuff for clients and then selling them to them, which is awesome because we're making more sales. So you can set yourself up as a developer, and then you just keep the store yourself, and it's free. They don't charge you until it gets handed over.
That's crazy. That seems like a loophole they're definitely going to close up.
It's a massive... Well, it is a loophole. But again, if you think it's going to close up, well, why have you not started it before it closes? You know?
Yeah.
So there you go. So you could just create a Shopify account now if you wanted to. Have a look on AliExpress. Well, I wouldn't do that first. But go on AliExpress, see if you can find some stuff. See what you can find, see what's out there, what's missing on these big stores. Is there anything in AliExpress that isn't in the big stores, or something that's easily replicatable? It's a hard word to say. And to see if you can find stuff to load a store up with. And then all you need to do is get, say 5-10 products, and then just start running some ads to them. Simple as that. You don't even have to have a lot on your website. You just need a basic store set up, and all you need to do is run that ad to that specific product. So you just send them straight to the product page. So as long as you make your product page look good.
Okay.
And again, all the pictures come from AliExpress. If you get a good one, they provide them all.
No, I understand that, Rich. But this is my other doubt. It's probably down to my sort of frugal spending and how I am the whole time. Because again, when I see ads like that, it's risky to buy from someone that there's no sort of social proof that they're a brand, and you see those sort of adverts and you go, oh, I kind of browse over them, but I don't know if people do buy from those sort of sites. Maybe they do. They must do.
They do
if they exist.
They do.
Because I just
you're
think
just not the target audience then.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. I think, that's why I stay away from those, because I just think, it might be a scam and all that sort of stuff. But that's kind of my frugal spending, because I'm so, I don't know,
Careful.
Careful and not Rockefeller and Rockefeller.
All right, the posh version.
Yeah, so
18th century version. Hello.
Rockefeller. Yeah, touche.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, are you guessing that that's what people will say?
Well,
or do you know?
No, I don't. But that's why I struggled with that sort of stuff as well, because it's just self-doubt on the way my mindset is with buying anything.
Of course. But when you're designing a site, that is your job, to make it look different or make it look trustworthy by like adding social links. And like I was talking to you earlier about creating a Facebook page, posting items and just general posts on that Facebook page, and then when you do post the product up, you run an advert to that product worldwide that just gives you social interaction. So it doesn't matter, you're not trying to make a sale, you're just trying to show it to people so they hit the thumbs up and like it. And then when you do run your ad on your real target audience, they look at it and go, oh wow, 500 people have liked this, what's this? It looks good straight away. So when that gives you your social proof, they don't look at where these social people were liking it from. So if they were coming from India or New Zealand or whatever, they don't look where these people live. They just see that, Dave Smith has liked this product. That's all they see. So, and that's how you build your social proof up, And you've just got to keep trying. But that's if you want to do dropshipping. You might not fancy that. That's just one way you could integrate your water sports or kite surfing or whatever sort of direction you want to go in, eco-friendly stuff. You could integrate that into your idea and then pull your t-shirts in after. Once you think, oh, okay, this is looking all right, you can stick your t-shirts up.
Yeah,
it's worth a go. It's worth trying. I mean, and like I said, you've got the time to do this stuff, and you don't have to spend loads of money. £5 daily budget for, so say, 15 quid to run it for 3 days, a global post, 3 days, 15 quid, and you'll just get a few hundred likes on that page. And that's what you're buying. And then obviously, if you have to wait a month because you haven't got enough money, I don't know. If you have to wait a month, you just wait a month, and then run the next lot of ads.
Yeah, no, okay, I see the thinking, but I just need to, again, do it or not do it. But it's just deciding which way I am going to spend my time. Like you say, things can be done, but time-wise, I probably do. I might have an hour here or there, but I should be doing stuff for Repaired at Your Door as well, because that needs to survive. So it's all things go, I should do this, I should do that for Repaired at Your Door, otherwise I'm going to go under, and all this sort of stuff, and there's more competition. So it is tough. But again, it is making excuses, taking me away from creating action on something that I would enjoy. But
you just got to feel like you're moving forward. You've got to feel like, right, I want to, you're going to have to make a, let's just say you start your Shopify store, okay, your water sports Shopify store. You go, right, I'm creating it. You go, right, so it's, what is it now? I don't know what day it is now. Wednesday? It's Wednesday. So you say, Friday night between 11 and 12 o'clock in the evening, I'm just going to research products on AliExpress. I'm not going to do any more than that, but I'm not going to do any less than that. I've got 1 hour definitely allocated to doing that. You get a pen and paper, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever. You copy and paste all your stuff that you find, and then go, right, my next free hour is the following Friday, exactly the same time. And then just start with the minimum. You've definitely got an hour free that doesn't have to be allocated to Repaired at Your Door or your family or whatever you want to do. You must have an hour a week free. You just got to say to yourself, right, it's going to be dedicated to my new store. That's what it's going to do. And I'm going to do this for 10 hours. The first hour is going to be researching products, see what I can find. The second hour is going to be researching audience. So you're going to do Google trend searches. You're going to do Facebook ad hunting, where you find, like if there's a website, no, not a website, there's a link on Facebook called it's like an ad researcher. I'll find the link. I'll put the link in the show notes. And basically, you click on this link. It's a Facebook page. And you type in the company that you want to look at. Okay, so you type in your big competitor, and then it shows you all the ads they're currently running on Facebook, Instagram, or anything to do with Facebook, and it will show you all their live adverts and what they're running.
Which is very handy, even for my current business now. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. So you type that in, and you can see what they're running, and you can see, if it's been running a while, it's probably been quite successful. So you go, right, okay, so that's something to base on. That product there seems to be doing well. Click on the advert, see how much interaction it's got. You can see if it's liked loads of times, You can find all that out for free on Facebook. They tell you.
Is that their own page, or is it a third party?
It's called Ad Library. So it's just called facebook.com/ads/library is what it is. But I'll link to it. So you type in. It's just a big search bar, and you can just type in. Give me a big water sports company. Do you know any? Off the top of your head?
King of Water Sports.
King of. Well, I know this is not helping anybody here. King of Water Sports. Okay, so they've got 40,000 likes on their page, and they are running no ads.
Really?
All. No, they're running no ads in any country at the minute. King of Water Sports. Right, so you've got to think they're not even running ads on Facebook. So who are they targeting? Where are they advertising? So there you go. Straight away you can go, right, I'm going to run some ads on Facebook doing the kind of stuff they're doing, but targeting all the people they're not advertising to. Yeah, they've got nothing. All platforms. That's Instagram, Audience Network, Messenger, and Facebook. They've got no ads running at the moment.
That's nuts.
Yeah, there you go. But you can find all this out for free. It's unbelievable. But anyway, so okay, but that's something you can look at. Why not start there? Sit yourself an hour, see how you get on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal. I'll look into it. It's looking into products or any sort of ideas. Anyway, I'll see if it's viable because again, I don't know what equipment can be replicated or not because a lot of it is very intricate and safety orientated. Obviously, with kite surfing, it's a very dangerous sport. So,
of course,
yeah.
But then all you need to do is this is just one idea. Get yourself a notebook and just write idea 1. Water sports equipment, can this be replicated? And then that is your book. You start, and you can start building up a list of stuff that you've tried at least, and you can start seeing what doesn't work.
Like you say,
at least
making small steps forward, progressing.
At least you're doing something,
ruling things out and doing some research.
Yeah. So what we'll do, I'll hold you accountable, and you can come back on the podcast, and you can tell me where you've got to when you've got something to tell me.
Okay. Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Deal. Well, okay, so we're gonna call it quits there because we've run to about an hour already. Even though before the podcast I said, don't really go past an hour. But don't worry about that. Do some snazzy editing if I can. But so that is the first guest of the podcast. So thank you so much for coming on, Kev. It's been awesome.
Nice. Thank you for having me. Sorry about the poor voice.
You're right. It sounds fine to me. And again, the thing is, you've done it. It's done is better than perfect, as they say. So you've done it now. You've recorded a podcast. This will go up live, and it's out of your control.
Okay.
So
that
if you
scares me.
Have any questions? There you go. But it's not your problem now. But if you do have any questions, you can email the show, richard@cashflowpirate.com. Again, all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Cashflow Pirate everywhere. You can find me. It's got a big ship. It's turquoise colour and there's a big ship on the picture. You can't miss us. If you have any questions for Kev, send an email in. I'll pass them on, of course. And when we get Kev back on the show, if anything comes in, we'll discuss it then. And hopefully we'll have at least something to talk about that you've taken action with. And see if we can move it forward. That'd be awesome if we can. Right, okay, so that is the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you prefer interviews I'll try and get some more interviews. If you don't, then I'll tell Kev to get lost. Whatever you fancy.
That'd be too harsh.
So, thanks again. The next episode will be released when it's released. Keep an eye out. Take care. Best of luck. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.